phone will not. I'm gonna have to get a stand for your vehicle too. Because luckily I'm not driving this time. What are you guys doing? Hell yeah! Let me tell you something. I am fighting for my life in Alexandria, not traffic.
You just keep driving, they'll move.
We're pulling a little trailer around. Okay, so we have the watermelon Activate, and we found watermelon water.
Let's see how there goes.
Look, it's like going. It's like, I'm gonna fall. It's like threatening.
Yeah, I'm straightening. I don't want to look icky today.
Hell no. It's
So not feeling
I look like some kind of like drug addict over here, like, hey, gotta get my Thrive on.
Do not stick it to your nose.
I don't know. I would probably puke. I don't think anything can go up my nose without me throwing up. Let's shake it, shake it, shake it.
Like you'll find us picking things out of our nose. Things in our nose.
I genuinely, this is what I wish for you guys. I pray that you guys find a job that is as entertaining as us daily. Like, as much as it's a lot of work at the pins and there's a lot of bullshit online that is so untrue, it's disgusting. It's like, sometimes I read the stuff that people say online and I can't decide if I should like throw up in my mouth a little bit or like laugh.
I can't even help what I do.
It is bad. So let me try. Gosh, we're gonna have to go by Target and get a phone thing to hold my phone, because we don't have one in this vehicle, and y'all need to see Nikki's shining face this morning. So we are literally on our way to the pins, and we're like 2 hours late. Gary's called. Jacob hasn't called. He isn't. This is how we know Jacob isn't there yet.
Yeah,
he's running late because he hasn't called, which means he doesn't know we're not there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
Well, I tried this water before I put the watermelon Activate in it.
Oh.
I really don't need Activate this morning. I'm already all jacked up on Thrive.
No, you're gonna hand it to me after you test it.
The Kahlua watermelon water was not that good.
Right.
And the Activate actually made it better. I mean, it's still not like, it's not. You guys, I'm gonna make y'all seasick and somebody's gonna throw up and complain.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna be like, I got car sick from watching your video this morning.
Do I go this way or that way?
You go that way. How many years have you fucking lived here?
I have lived here, but I have never went that way.
Girl,
There is nothing in Oakdale that I needed.
There's nothing in Oakdale anyone
Exactly.
needs. Here you go. Try this. Passing my crack off. I can't wait till the hate group gets a hold of this and like calls the police and they're like, they were doing something. We saw them.
Watermelon water with a active.
Just, I want to like, if I could just wedge my phone down in here.
Hey, Popo.
Hello, Mr. Police Officer.
Good morning. Oh, look, speaking of the police, we don't have to call them. They're right here.
Yes, my phone is like actually wedged in here tight now. And I think they can kind of see us though.
Till we get to
It's like wedged in a position they can see half of me and like 1/4 of you.
Good enough.
Good enough. You guys get the gist, right?
We'll lean in if it's important.
We'll lean in if it's important. So, we went to Tractor Supply and bought mud boots because it's disgusting outside. So we got mud boots. We looked at the pink striped ones, but they were $119. The muck boots, and we were like, okay, the $20 boots it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did buy us lots of socks. I just thought they were pretty, and these had horses. I don't know. Horse socks. And we dropped my car off to be serviced, and I might trade it in. I don't know. I haven't actually. I really love Penelope. I don't think I can trade her in, but I'm going to look at something a little bigger.
But you should have seen the people's face at the Mercedes dealership.
Yes, we pulled into the Mercedes dealership in this truck in the trailer, and we had to like back it into the ditch to turn it around, and they were like at the window, like.
God.
I thought it was funny.
We drove through Mercedes service with truck and trailer, of course.
Did you take your capsules this morning?
Mm-hmm.
So you've taken your capsules?
Got that. Check.
I'm just telling you. We're thrivers.
Yes.
We love it.
If we don't, I would be over here like,
Yeah. So she learned why I'm a thriver after about working at the pins for a week. You just get so exhausted. Like, I guess between the sun and the work, you just get exhausted. And before Thrive, I would literally get home from the pins and fall asleep on the couch, and the next morning wake up and realize I had been asleep since like 8 o'clock the night before, dirty on the couch. At least, yeah, you did that, you know. So at least now when I get home, I have enough energy to like feed my horses and take a shower.
Yeah. I have time for 2 kids, a husband, and 7 horses, and I'm still good. So,
Yes. Yes. Nikki had a little more energy than me to begin with, though. So
Yeah.
Thrive has really turned her into like the workaholic of all workaholics. So we got some neat horses in this last week. Tuesday, of course, is like dump your horse at the pin day, and I think we had 80 come in. So it is awesome stuff. So we had 80 come in, and we've got them pretty much all situated except for it poured down rain. I need some Thrive. You really do need to Thrive. Nikki is actually going to start promoting Thrive and to be a promoter on my team. So she really, really, really needs a couple of customers and maybe a person or two that wants to be a promoter, and you guys can contact her. She'll give you her link and help you guys out because she would like to build a little team. I qualified for Toronto, so we're going to go to Toronto, which is super exciting. I don't know. I loved when we went to the Dominic, and we went to New Orleans, and we went to San Francisco. So this next lifestyle getaway with Lavelle is Toronto, and I'm stoked. I've never been.
How many days is it?
Well, we'll be gone 4 days. So her husband's gonna man the fort now.
Can't be good.
Yeah, it'll be my mom, me, and Nikki. That's who will go. I wish Nikki could have qualified herself, but she just now started being like a promoter, and there's only 1 month left to qualify, and you had to have hit your bonus, or you had to have earned it at 2 months. So she can go with me. My mom has also earned it. Normally my mom goes with me, but my mom earned it also. So my mom will probably take my sister. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know. I've never been to Toronto. It says, have her contact. I'll be a promoter under her. That's perfect, Kimberly, because she would love to build a little team.
I'm
Yeah.
a little busy at the moment, but I can run
When we're done driving, we will inbox you. So we had some cool horses come in. We had another lady contact us that we've gotten to where we buy pretty much everything through auctions. And I think it's so funny. There's this thing circulating on Facebook. This is the 3rd year in a row. Every year. What happens is Facebook has time hop. So 3 years ago, somebody circulated this thing that called me a kill buyer. Don't sell this girl your horses. She's a kill buyer. So last year it circulated again because it was somebody found it on time hop, and so then again this year it's year 3. My God. And it's circulating, and people inbox it to me like, I mean, what? Like sometimes I want to be like, what do you want me to do about it? And then some people, like if you read the comments underneath it, some people will be defending me. You know what I love are the ones that are like, Karma will catch this bitch and slit her throat, and I'm like, thank you for that.
We have no problem with Karma. So
Yeah, karma is I mean, here's the thing, you do reap what you sow, and I totally believe that, but I do a lot of good in this world, so let me just tell you, I live a pretty blessed life. I mean, I don't come unscathed from my own amount of negativity. I mean, it's life. You're not ever going to get out of life without loss and negativity and drama and death and just bad things happen. It's life. But I feel pretty blessed. I mean, I think I live a pretty amazing life, and I think it's so funny, like, to read some of the things animal activists say. I wish I could find this bitch and burn her house down, and I'm like, okay, but would you like me to inbox you that address, or do you, like, would you?
But those people are so pitiful. I feel sorry for them.
I don't feel bad for them. I used to feel sorry for them. I used to think to myself, like, I feel so bad for these people because they don't know that they're vibrating, like, on a really, really negative frequency. And that the reason they say these kind of things is because that's what's in their heart. You know, that's what's in their heart. But I don't feel bad anymore because I know now as adults, you have a choice. Like, I used to be like, oh, I'm going to pray for them. And I mean, now when I say my prayers at night, I mean, I always tell God to, like, you know, bless those who have sinned against me and those who have, like, said and done things against me. But the truth is, they're adults. Like, you have all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips between the internet, Google, YouTube, and there are so many videos about how to overcome negativity and overcome depression and overcome pessimism and overcome all of the things that they're suffering from. That's a choice. They choose to be that way. And then people ask me all the time, well, Tara, how do you handle all of this so gracefully, with so much grace? And I'm like, because I live in grace. I live in God's mercy and grace. Like, nobody has done more wrong, than me. I would say that I've not ever been a perfect person. I think everybody I know in my life is like fucked up. Like, they've done stuff wrong. And I just live in God's grace and mercy. And when you get to that point, you give that to other people. You just give it willingly. Like, they're like, don't they make you angry? No. Well, how come the things they say don't affect you? Because what they say about me is none of my business. It's just keyboard warriors that think they have found something to gain attention. And what I've learned from Barb Lynch and from the exposed group and the hate group and horrible horsemanship and all of those people is that they're not looking for a solution. Like, when they say horrible things about people, they're not looking for a solution. They're looking for attention. That's their only means of attention. The girls that run the horrible horsemanship group, they have no other means of attention in their life. They live very desolate lives. I can tell from, like, I've gone down the admin list and like kind of scoped out their Facebook, and most of them are like overweight, miserable, want to be trainers, want to be this, want to be that. None of them are professional, rich, abundant, life enjoying individuals. They're all pretty mean girl. I mean, they're like the typical mean girl. And what can I tell you about a mean girl from once being one? Being a mean girl is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you, and it's misery. You're a miserable bitch. You're a miserable bitch. And so misery loves company. So you get on social media and you create a group called Horrible Horsemanship, where you and other miserable bitches can waller in your misery together. Like, together. Nikki goes, no thank you. And then here's Nikki and I, we're like, off to the Mercedes dealership we go. Like, God, just not a damn care in the world.
Like, it's not hard, people. Just be happy.
Just be happy. Like, we don't lack joy. We don't lack joy. We don't lack happiness. And then people say, well, don't you ever worry that their negativity is gonna affect you? And I go, no, because that's a choice.
If you let it affect you.
That's a choice. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it's a choice. Like, when I get an inbox message from somebody that says something negative, I just swipe to the right and hit delete.
Gone. Just like
delete.
that.
It's just gone. You don't have to respond. You don't have to read it. You don't have to fight back. And they're like, doesn't it hurt your feelings? No.
You probably didn't even finish the first sentence.
I didn't finish the first sentence, because here's the thing. What that person says about me and to me is none of my business. That is a direct reflection of who they are. And I will not pay enough attention to that kind of stuff to lower my frequency to that level. We vibrate on a high frequency. And let me tell you about vibrating on a higher frequency, where you choose to overcome all that negativity and you choose to mind your own business and you choose to focus on things that you can. I focus every day on things that I can do, such as making a difference in the world, finding the horses homes, trying to be a positive influence for anybody that needs that positive reinforcement. Those are the things that I wake up every day and I'm like, this is what I'm doing with my day. I don't run a group that allows horrible horsemanship to be posted. I don't run a group that allows negativity to be spewed. I don't run a group where I allow people to discuss things that are none of our business, because it's not good for us. It's not good for you guys. I mean, here's the thing about being a mean girl. When somebody does something and it's stupid, I see it all the time, and I think to myself, well, that was sure dumb.
Yeah.
It is not my place to educate that person because they didn't ask for my opinion. And if I feel like it's something I can help them with, I can inbox somebody and say, what's up, Riley Gilbert? I don't know who Riley Gilbert is. Did they say something? I know the girl's member. I know a girl that's a member. Here's the thing. I think that they have like 30 or 40,000 members in Horrible Horsemanship. I've got 33,000 members in Double S, and this is literally just a group that Nikki and I have the Nikki and Tara show in. Like, our group is not about anybody else. It's about the horses at the pens and our opinion and just the crazy stuff we come up with. And I have 33,000 members, but I have 33,000 people who focus on positive, fun. And I'm just going to tell you, if you're a member of those groups and you enjoy that, that says everything about you. And I don't feel bad for you. I used to. I went through a phase to where I was angry at those people and I wanted to fight back. Then I went through a phase to where I felt bad for them. I wanted to pray for them and inbox them and try to lead them to the light. And now I
don't feel that bad.
No, now I just don't. I mean, okay, so that's your character. Your character is the kind of character that lets you go sit in the mean girl group and be a mean girl. And some people, I love when people go, well, I never post in there, I just read it. That's like saying, I don't write for the Inquirer, I just read the drama. That's still who you are. Like, just because you're not writing the stories doesn't matter. When you waste your time reading the shit that is written in the Inquirer, and you waste your time reading the stuff in Horrible Horsemanship, that says everything about you. And I want you to know, if you're in those groups and you're reading that stuff, you're on the verge of being that person. Like, you're on you're on the fence of falling in. No, like, unadd yourself and walk away. And here's the thing, have you ever taken time to sit back and think about how the people feel that are being persecuted in those groups? Like, luckily, thank God, I am strong and it doesn't faze me. But what about the 13-year-old little girl that has her polos on backwards and doesn't genuinely know better, and they're slamming her and she's sitting in her house crying? What about her?
That's ridiculous. When they get with children, that's...
They attack young girls, they attack fat women, they want to attack people for being fat. They want to attack people for saying things that are uneducated. Let me tell you something. The horse industry is a vast group of individuals.
Of all levels of experience.
All levels of experience. And I can always tell somebody that has no business being a professional when they slam people that don't know better. If you feel like that person not knowing better needs to be addressed, you can send them a private message. I sent Haley Craft one time. Haley Craft is every bit of a professional. She brokers horses. I think they buy and sell a lot of horses. And I sent her an inbox message one time and I said, I respect you. I think you're a wonderful person. I just want you to know that when you're talking about a horse, that they are by a stallion and an out of a mare. And I don't think that it makes you less to say it backwards. I just want you to know, for a lot of us that are kind of old school in the way that we read things, it is hard for me, because when you said that the horse is out of First Down Dash, I'm wondering if you mean, is it out of a First Down Dash daughter? Is the mama First Down Dash bred? And I said I had to read it a couple of times to understand that it's by a son of First Down Dash and out of a whatever mare it was out of. But she said it's out of a First Down Dash stud and by a whatever mare, and and I'm just gonna tell you, this was 5 years ago, and she's every bit of a professional, and she was gracious. She said, oh my gosh, I actually did know that, and I think I just get in a hurry writing ads. And I said, oh my gosh, I've been there, and it was like no drama. And the next day her little ad was edited, and then I kind of felt bad. I was like, man, I'm such a bitch. Like, I felt bad just even pointing it out, but she was gracious about it. And she's somebody that I feel like she's young, trying to be a professional, and she was gracious about it and she was good about it. And I hate to even name her personally, but I feel like she handled that situation like
that's how a professional,
that's how it should be handled. Like, if you see somebody posting photographs of their polos on backwards, and I'll say it again, there's a professional male barrel racer that 9 times out of 10, his polos are wrapped, in my opinion, wrong. Like, by any professional person's standards, those polos are wrong. But he's a world champion, and that's the way he wraps them. Does it make him wrong? I don't know. I think he's wrong, but it's none of my business. He's a world champion barrel racer. I'm not. I've won some decent sized barrel races, but I'm not no world champion. So who am I to post him in Horrible Horsemanship? That's some bitch out. Yes, and I'm telling you, he outrides me 360 365 days a year. He out-trains me 365 days a year. He out-horsemanships me 365 days a year.
Along with a lot of other people.
Yes, I mean, he is a champion. And he is a world champion. And he has won just about everything. And his polos are still backwards and the Velcro's at the bottom. Is it right? I don't think it is. But I'm not posting him in those groups. And I'm telling you, just because you notice something about somebody else that you don't do, it's not your place. If you feel the need to address it, inbox them. And if they say, well, I've done it that way my whole life and I'm a world champion and I want to keep doing it that way, don't let me fuck up your juju. You polo juju, go right on to the winner's circle. Whatever.
It is working.
I've seen race trainers that put their figure 8 nose bands over the bridle instead of under the bridle. And I finally asked somebody why, and they said, well, the truth is that this horse won't walk over with the figure 8 done, and it's the rubber one, and so we have to put it on and let it out the front, and then if we clamp it shut, they won't walk off with it. So we had to, because I addressed a race trainer one time, and I said, you know the figure 8 goes under the bridle, right? And he looked at me and he said, was I born at night? And I go, well, maybe. And I go, but let me guess, you're going to tell me not last night, right? And he said, that's right. And he said, girl, let me tell you something. You will get a lot further in life when you worry about your horses and your barn and not mine. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I just noticed it, and I thought maybe your groom made a mistake. And he said, you worry about your grooms and let me worry about mine. And I said, you're right. And he said, did you see that bitch go wire to wire and win? And I said, I did. I saw her go wire to wire. I'm not knocking you. You're a good trainer. And he said, mind your own business. And I said, I'm sorry. I mean, he scolded my ass and I tucked my tail, and I
That's what you do.
I won 2 races before him. Don't get me wrong. I had just won 2 races before him, and I addressed it, thought I was helping, and he scolded my ass. You worry about your grooms and you worry about your program. And later on he came to me and he said, sis, let me tell you something. I've been training racehorses 50 years. He said, I know the figure 8 goes under the bridle. That horse won't walk over with the figure 8 done. So what we do is we put the rubber figure 8 on and let it hang out the front. After we saddle, we don't put the figure 8 under the bottom lip, under the jaw, until we hand it off to the pony, because it'll pony off with the figure 8 done, but it won't walk off with the figure 8 done. And he said that's just that horse, and that's the way it has to be done, and it might not be right by anybody else's standards, but that's the way we do it. And I said, well, it seems like a lot of work. He said it is, because we have to pull the figure 8 down and pull the reins through. I mean, it's a bitch to do it that way, but that's the way we have to do that horse.
And she's winning. So
And she went wire to wire, and she stomped my little gelding's ass. So I won 2 races before that, and I ran 3rd in that race. But I learned right then, it's none of your business what somebody else is doing.
9 times out of 10, they have some sort of a good reason.
They have a good reason for doing things the way they do them, and it's none of your business. It's none of your business. But see, when you're online, and you probably don't have parents that are horsemen, and you might just being a professional in your backyard, you're not around professionals like I was, to where they get to scold you and teach you a lesson. My hardest lessons came the hard way, from people that scolded me. I mean, professional horsemen that are champions that scolded me. Mind your own business. Don't walk down somebody else's shed room. Don't come in somebody else's barn unless they're there. Don't, and the one thing I'll tell you about racehorse people is, they aren't keyboard warriors. They will come to your barn and confront you about saying something about them.
And that's the way I always handle things too. When I send you a message, I may pick up the phone and call you if I can't get to you, but it's going to be a talking.
That's right. So what I feel sorry for are all of the people online who think that is professionalism, or that's professional horsemanship. Let me tell you, nobody is more foul-mouthed than me. I need to control my tongue. I need to learn to not cuss as much as I do. But I feel like I'm every essence of a professional. I do a good job. I mean, just like right now, first of all, I sold a horse over a year ago that I trained on the track. I sold him a year ago, probably. I don't know. Somebody has him. He's ended up somewhere that they have found. I'm pretty sure they probably bought him to be able to manipulate it, which this is another thing you run into. Sold a horse a year ago, privately. They're saying I sold him through the kill pen. I love it. They're like, this is Tara Sanders' horse and she sold it through the kill pen. No, I sold that horse a year ago. So, and then finally I told somebody, ask them, show where he was advertised on Facebook in the kill pen. Post a photograph. Show me where Thompson Horse Lot advertised him for sale. They never did, because he was sold privately a year ago. Well, he's so thin. He's been gone a year. Been gone a year. Being gone a year. I mean, what somebody does with their animal once I sell it to them is just none of my business.
That's the sucky part about selling.
That's the sucky. They're not yours anymore. Not mine anymore. Hasn't been mine in 12 months. So what happened after that is none of my business. And if you want to take a picture of his tattoo and him in a skinny state and say he came from me like that, well, that's bullshit, because I have photos of the horse the day he left and he looked like $1 million. So you can say what, and then I love when they're like, she'll put a twist on this. There's no spin on it. I sold the horse a year ago and he looked just fine. Where he's been in the last year is none of my business. When I sold him, I relinquished all of my rights to him. Every one of them. And he sure as hell was never on Thompson Horse Lot. They'll never be able to post an ad of him on social media, because he was never listed. Now, did the girl buy him from me through Double S? Yes. She inboxed and said, I'm looking for a thoroughbred. The girl I sold him to was looking for a thoroughbred, and I said, we don't have any listed right now, but I have a couple that I train that I'm ready to sell. And she said, oh, can you send me information on them? Sure. I sold her 2, actually. I sold her Izzo and JB Shyster. There you go. Now, what happened to them in the last 12 months is none of my business.
So they put a spin on it.
They put a spin on it, yeah.
They said you sold it through
They said I sold it. It was on Thompson Horse Lot. Mm-hmm. No, a girl inboxed me and said, I'm looking for a thoroughbred. Right. And I said, I've got a couple. She paid $1,200 a piece for them.
Right. You didn't say, I have some at the kill pen.
Mm-mm. No, they were $1,200 each. So, yeah, it's right. So, social media has a funny way of...
There's almost nothing professional about social media.
Yeah, there's nothing professional about social media. There's a shit ton of keyboard warriors who have no business having any horse sense or any... They have no business having an opinion, but they get to voice theirs. And the really bad part is you have groups like this Horrible Horsemanship group and, you know, Double S, Thompson Horse Lot, Picking Horse Company Exposed. And it's women who, they're not looking for a solution. They're looking for drama. Misery loves company. They're miserable people that have nothing else to do but cause problems. And they love when they can find company. And the funny thing is so many of you run and join their groups so you can read what they say and you fuel their fire. They think that they're justified in the things that they say and do because there's 30,000 people or 40,000 people in Horrible Horsemanship looking at it. Well, 40,000 people agree with me. That's what they think. So if you're a member of those groups, they think you're backing them. And you may not even know you're in the group because people can just add you. I had a girl message me yesterday and she's like, Tara, I'm so sorry. I started getting posts from this Thompson Horse Lot Double S Kill Pen Exposed. And she's like, they added me. It's this person, and she posted their name. Added me, and I didn't even ask to be part of that group. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. I mean, I know they can just add whoever they want. So probably half the people in those groups are just added without their knowledge.
They probably just unfollowed it. Some people don't even know how to fully work Facebook.
Right, and I have a lot of people that say, well, I unfollowed that a long time ago. But just because you unfollow it, you're still a member. And those people think that they're justified in their negative actions because you're a member of their group. They're like, see, we have 30,000 members. We have 30,000. Like, I heard the girl at Horrible Horsemanship, she responded to me and said, we have 40,000 backers who read everything we say, and they all think you're a joke. And I'm like, well, I laugh all your 40,000 asses want. I don't give a shit. Like, good for y'all. And I love when they post screenshots of things, but they've deleted their half. Like they,
where they, that happened to me, and that
where it's all the stuff you're saying, but the stuff they're saying is gone. So you can't even see, like, it doesn't make sense. It just looks like I'm like going off on a
something.
Yes, like I'm going off on this